look, I think that we could not have been clearer, and I've got a message for any of the people that are out there protesting today. Go home. Go home. You're not doing your cause any good, and you're potentially putting other people at risk. Could I possibly be any clearer than that? The protest the other weekend, we advised against it. We urged people not to do it. We allowed Victoria Police, though, to play their role. It is for them to determine what an appropriate response is, and they've been very clear about what their response would be. It was peaceful, but it was certainly not helpful when it comes to the general community view about where we're at. This is not over. I would love to be able to stand here and indicate to every Victorian that this is over. It'll never truly be over until we have a vaccine, and that is a long way off.
Premier, what about the borders? And part of this is reimposing restrictions. Will you make any changes at the borders? And what's your message to the rest of the country, the rest of the state premiers that are thinking we don't want to let anyone in from Victoria because the virus is getting out?
Well, I'll let them speak for themselves. In terms of the border that remains open with New South Wales, I'll be having a conversation with Premier Berejiklian, and I think that conversation will focus on potentially limiting the opportunity for people to travel from Victoria if they live in one of those hotspots. And I think that's a fair and proportionate response. The other way to look at that is it may well be that in those hotspot local government areas or suburbs, and again, I'm not announcing this today, I want to have that conversation with Gladys, it may well be that if you travel, and we would probably get to a point where we advised against travel, if you felt you needed to travel, then you might well be at the other end of your journey, you may well be subject to quarantine for a 2-week period, which I think would mean most travel would not happen.
How would you enforce that though? Like, the police at the border be having to look at driver's licences and spotting suburbs and Hume, just take for example.
Again, no one's pretending that that's logistically simple. It is not. But we want to try and have as proportionate and as targeted a response as possible. Again, back to the point, if we're thinking about these things and talking about it internally, then people have a right to know. I have no plan to close the border more formally for everybody. These are low numbers. We are acting quickly and early to get back on top of it. But if there were any restrictions, I think they would almost certainly be focused on those areas where we are seeing significant community transmission, because that's where the risk is, Simon.
And do we need people to return to the practice of? Do we need people to return to the practice of informing authorities if they believe there's a gathering larger than allowed going on?
Well, after midnight tomorrow night, I would urge anybody who thinks that their neighbour or someone down the road from them or whomever it might be is having a gathering that is more than their household plus a maximum of 5 guests, they'd absolutely be doing the right thing to inform through the police assistance line a corona breach, a COVID-19 breach report would be made, and police won't hesitate to act. Again, it's not a matter of, oh well, we all consent to having this party and therefore it's fine. No, that's not right. If you are doing something that is against the rules aren't there just to protect you, they're there to protect everyone. And the way each individual and family behaves has a direct bearing on the safety of all Victorians and the difficult and long-term project that we're all engaged in to repair the damage that has had to be done to the Victorian economy.
What about tonight? If Victorians have got gatherings tonight of 10 people in their home, what's your advice?
Well, there are rules that apply in terms of gatherings at home right now. They get tougher from midnight tomorrow night, but I'm not inviting people to go and do unnecessary things that add to the risks that we all face. I don't think, at the same time though, I don't think it would have been very fair to announce at 2:30 today that rules would be changing in just a few hours' time. I think it's not unreasonable, and the Chief Health Officer is comfortable with that short notice period, but it is a notice period. It gives people a full day in order to perhaps change any arrangements that they had made.